a new rule, some stupid rule that says, bar the putter, the lowest amount of loft you can use is 15 degrees. It's 24 under par, too low.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Below Par podcast with myself, Joe, and Joe.
Hello everybody.
And today again, we are joined by Chris Ryan. Chris, thank you very much for coming on.
My pleasure.
Steve, I think that brings us on to our hot topic, if you want to introduce it.
So the hot topic we have decided on this evening is, where do you see golf in 5 years? And there's lots of different topics to talk about there, but we'll try and keep it concise between the topics. So first of all, where do you see the way that coaching evolves? So online lessons, etc.
I definitely think they're going to be more used. I do online coaching. I don't feel it's as good as in-person lessons. I think the way I do my online coaching is potentially might be slightly different to other people do it. If someone comes for a one-on-one lesson with me in person, when I give them an online lesson, the information I give them is exactly the same. It's no different. But you can't physically grab them, move them, so they can feel what that new position's like. And then when they go away and practice, you're not there saying, that's wrong. So I think the way that we do it has to kind of reflect the fact that it is different. But I think it's the way to go. And I think I can see now with social media and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, there could well be someone who would rather go and have an online lesson with a YouTube coach versus someone who's 10 minutes down the road who could be a great coach, but they want to get lessons off that person that they see and watch the videos of. So I definitely see that. I'm involved with an app called the Swing Index, which is kind of taking it to the next level. Where you upload a swing and then the coach, whoever that is, that's myself, you kind of rate it and we kind of back and forth, and that's a really good way of doing it. So I think we're going to see definitely kind of emergence of these different platforms that are going to help that. But I certainly see that being as the way to go. I mean, I'm a little bit maybe oblivious to it, but the number of emails I get from people for online lessons, and they just say like, there are no golf coaches here. They're in parts of the world where there aren't coaches, and so they've really got no other option other than just to learn off YouTube or to actually reach out and have an online lesson.
Yeah. What about equipment in 5 years' time?
Yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it? Because I think 5 years ago, if you'd have said, where can it go? You go, it can't go anywhere, but it kind of continues to do that. Yeah. I think there's definitely, you're going to see this as well, I'm sure, from social media. There's definitely a bit of a backlash from golfers who get annoyed at the new drivers that are the claims. And, for me, I don't think there's ever been a claim that's not true. If they say the ball speed is faster, the ball speed is faster. The problem is it's like 0.2 mile an hour, which you don't see on a golf course. Yeah. But they're truthful in saying the ball comes off the face quicker and the punter's going, well, I'm not seeing that. So it's wrong. It's not wrong, but it's just that small. Yeah. But it'd be interesting to see whether they do. There's talk of, what they're doing with the golf ball and whether they change that. I certainly think it wouldn't surprise me if in the next 5 years there's some big changes or one big change. Whether it's something on the lines of everyone has to use the same golf ball or, and I think a little bit of it will be down to the distance.
Yeah, so there'll be some, limitations is probably the word, isn't it?
Yeah, I think what I heard someone say the other day, that, something like, which would affect equipment. There could be a new rule, some stupid rule that says, bar the putter, the lowest amount of loft you can use is 15 degrees. To take out the fact that these guys are hitting it 360, 370, because we can't physically rebuild all the golf courses around the world. It's just, you can't do that. So as the game gets longer, the courses can't keep up with that. So what do? Do we let it continue and suddenly and we have a completely different game in 20 years? Or do we start to say, and I know the RNA released a paper, didn't they, about they were looking into it. And I think that was all the paper said. It was just they were exploring our options. So it really wouldn't surprise me. Well, based on that paper, it wouldn't surprise me if in the next 5 years we know what will happen. But I think it will be after that when actually something does happen.
Yeah.
A couple of things actually would be really interesting there. Imagine if they did make it 15 degrees. The golf swing, I think, would change in order to make that
Absolutely.
further.
Yeah.
Technique would definitely change. Like hitting up with the idea of a driver at 15 degrees is probably not going to happen anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the other thing is, seeing these guys hit it further, DeChambeau is a really good example of this. Have you seen his ball speed figures he's showing up on Instagram at the minute? Didn't he do one a minute ago? It's like 193 miles an hour. I'm sorry, but guys of old just were not generating that much power. So there's that argument that the game, it's not necessarily the equipment that's potentially moving on. It's actually the golfers now are potentially becoming more athletic and they're becoming stronger. And there's more research almost in the background that we're then seeing this outlay. And almost then feel a bit sorry for golf ball manufacturers and them going, well, now suddenly you can't produce this ball anymore because it's not, it's not going to be allowed. You've got to produce this.
It's definitely a mixture of both, isn't it? There's a better education, but we with these regulations, I think I'm right in saying this. It's more relevant for the professional game because actually your average club golfer, is it changing the game that much? I don't think so.
No, it's not. I don't think I agree with you. I think the thing we've got to be careful of is that we don't have separate rules, is there? We can't say the pros do this and the amateurs do that. But I think what's interesting is for me, you look at someone, DeChambeau's a great example because he kind of publicly came out and said, I'm going to hit it miles. I'm going to do some work on it. So the fact that he has is just it's a skill he's developed. But these golfers who are coming out hitting it miles, they train in the gym. They figure out what's the best impact. They train it's a skill. But we're now saying, the courses need to be made longer. Well, 20 years ago, when Brad Faxon was the best putter, no one said, hang on, let's make all the greens more difficult. Everyone just said, well done, he's a great putter.
Yes.
But they don't say, well done, you're a great driver. It's all, it's stupid, it's too long. They don't sort of categorize it as a skill almost, which it is. Obviously, technology's helped, but these guys are, part of their training is I need to hit it 350 if I'm going to get on the PGA Tour. It's a skill which they work towards, and I don't think we want to punish them.
Exactly.
But as much as we do need to also protect the game a little bit.
I was going to say, I'm almost going to feel sorry though for the guys, let's say the shorter guys on tour. So they're guys at the minute that are relying on their 7 irons into greens or long iron ability. Suddenly they're in a position now where their long irons into par 5s, they can't reach, but these long guys now can still reach. They're just hitting a 7 iron rather than a wedge.
Yeah.
Or, hitting a 5 iron rather than a 7 iron. And these shorter guys now are hitting 3 woods and not being able to get there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Then it suddenly becomes unfair. Like their ability to hit par 5s and 2s is taken away. So suddenly then length is even more important.
I think we have to be. I mean, there's a discussion as well about is 24 under par too low. What should the winning score be? And people's I like to see them finish at about 8 under, 9 under. And I'll tell you a story if I can quick. It was, I can't remember the year. It was the US Open that Justin Rose won. So a few years ago now. Yeah. And I can't remember what his winning score was. Let's say, for argument's sake, it was 4 under. I don't know if it was, but let's say it was 4 under. There was a hole on the front 9, a par 3, and it was something like 250-yard par 3. And there was a couple of early in the, Thursday, Friday, they put the tees back and it was into the wind. And there was a couple of players hit driver to this par 3. And they were interviewing them after, and they were saying, this is ridiculous. And all the players are going, stupid. I shouldn't have to hit driver on a par 3. It's ridiculous, yada, yada, yada. And Justin Rose won at, let's say, 4 under. And I'm thinking, okay, let's make it a par 4. He still wins the tournament.
Yeah.
It just doesn't win at 4 under. He wins at level par.
Yeah.
He still wins by the same number. He still beats the same people. You could make any hole a par 2. And they'll all be 25 over par, but the same person will still win.
Yeah.
Doesn't change. Doesn't change the outcome.
It's totally a psychological thing.
Exactly.
This is what I'm about to tell. Hopefully, a really short story. I'm known for waffling. I've played multiple Jamaica events at the Players Club in Bristol because it's local to where my parents are, and I always used to play it because like the course, etc. Anyway, the 11th was always either a par 4 or a par 5. But it's amazing when you stand on that tee. Everybody's playing the same golf course. Everybody's making different scores, and they're walking off the hole with either, let's say, for example, they made it a par 5. You stand up on that tee thinking, I can get home easily here with a driver and I think probably about a 5 iron in dry conditions. You're thinking, 4's easy here. But as soon as you put a 4 on that scorecard, as in a par 4, you're thinking, I've got to hit 2 good shots here and 2 solid putts to make me par. It's amazing the psychology of it. But no, you're absolutely right there. That's
So I've never got the kind of score thing, because I just think, well, let's change a par 5 to a par 4. There you go. You're not 4 shots off the score. It's the same people still winning. They're still hitting the same shots. They're still holding the same putts.
It's a really interesting one, actually, when you were sort of saying when the figures were scoring. Where was that US Open course? It was absolutely impossible with the railway running up one side, and there was players like putting into bunkers and that sort of thing.
Was it Chambers Bay?
That, I think it is Chambers Bay. I think it yeah. And watching that was some of the best golf I think I've ever watched, because you truly didn't know what's going to happen. And this is a little bit of a criticism I have. Whenever you watch golf on TV, and I say this to a lot of people I coach, you only ever see the best bits. Please don't just assume that they hit the green from 20 feet every time and they always box it.
Yeah.
You're watching these top guys. And my other issue is you then see a guy at +3 and he's on the fairway and you go, well, he's either going to hold this or it's really good. Otherwise they wouldn't show him.
Yeah.
But watching it there was brilliant, because the amount of times the players got the wrong side of the green and it disappeared off and went into a bunker you couldn't get out of. And the commentators are going, oh, this is brutal. And I'm thinking, this is amazing for golf. I want to see this. I want to see these guys get left in the most impossible position and then hole out, and you go, otherworldly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. You need a little bit of unpredictability, don't you? You need to know. You need to be glued to it, not knowing. And I think part of the reason that everyone loves the Masters is because we all realise, for those of us who watched it, we know that from 13 onwards you could shoot 4 under.
Yeah.
And so it is that unpredictability. If someone's too clear, they could lose by 4. It's exactly the same as what you're saying. It's, you want to watch it thinking, what's going to happen? I need to watch. Is this player going to hit in the water? Are they going to hole out for eagle? Whereas potentially, we don't always see that. If someone's too clear in a regular PGA Tour event, they're probably going to win.
But definitely, I think it would be interesting to see then how they change course setups in the future. Because all I would like to see, if these guys hitting it miles, I can't remember, it was another US Open, I think it was Shinnecock, where they put the fairways in super tight and everyone was moaning, and McIlroy made that statement of something like, if you guys are moaning about hitting into a 50-yard fairway, you shouldn't be stood in this tournament, or something along those lines, wasn't it? Yeah. But I think that's a great way of punishing it. Just bring the boundaries in for that fairway. Make it super narrow. Make it so they can't start chasing driver down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting.
The tournament, the WGC that's in Mexico, I love that, because it's a fairly shortish course, but it's tight. Yes. And the players where they miss the fairway, whether it's intentional or not, the rough isn't that long. So they miss the fairway, there's trees. So you see shots. You see the low slice out the trees. You see the hook. You see shots. Now you take the trees away and you make the rough 6 inches. You see the same shot every single time. There is the fairway to hack. That's no fun. No, but you watch that WGC and you see the kind of low punches and you see them go between branches and you see it's exciting. And that brings a bit of the skill back to the game of kind of, well, can I use this tool to make that ball go where I want it to? And I like watching that. I like that kind of excitement of seeing different shots. And
I think that's interesting, actually, because certainly that's certainly the course where I'm based at. It's not very long, 6,000 yards, but I always say it plays so much harder. I think the course record's 6 under.
Wow.
And you just cannot, there's areas of that golf course where you are moving the ball 90 yards through the air if you're slightly on the wrong side of the fairway.
Yeah.
It's really fiddly, and I like that as a golf course, and just think it's so interesting compared to courses where sometimes, a lot of people unfortunately give Celtic Manor a bit of stick, the Ryder Cup course. It's designed to have grandstands around it, where you go and play it without a grandstand, and suddenly it looks really, really, really wide. You're hitting into massive fairways, the greens are massive, and there's kind of no atmosphere.
Yeah.
And put your wellies on.
Well, certainly when the Ryder Cup was there, it was pretty wet from what I remember.
Right, guys, thank you very much. Thank you to Chris for coming on. We appreciate your time. Thank you. I know you're a busy man.
Absolute pleasure. No, glad I could come and chat to you guys.
Thank you. Joe, thank you as well for yourself.
Yeah, I was here.
Guys, if you haven't already liked the video, please make sure you do. I'll put a subscribe button just down the bottom now so that you can hit subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon.
Bye. Oh.